The year the TV died, I heard the clock. Every tick was a key turning in a lock. You used to hum along to the late night news. Now I sit in the hum of the empty fuse. The remote still sits on your side of the couch. I don't move it, I don't know how. And the silence isn't empty, it's just rearranged. Every missing sound is a memory that's changed. From a shout to a whisper, from a laugh to a thread. I'm learning to live in the words you never said. The year the TV died, I didn't buy a new one. Some ghosts are kinder than the morning sun. Love the static between channels best. That's what forever sounds like, a beautiful mess. I used to roll my eyes, now I leave the dial on a dead frequency. It's been a while, the antenna's bent, the screen is gray, but I swear I saw your face on Tuesday. And the silence isn't empty, it's just rearranged. Every missing sound is a memory that's changed. From a shout to a whisper, from a laugh to a thread. I'm learning to live in the words you never said. The year the TV died, I didn't buy a new one. Some ghosts are kinder than the morning sun. Last week the neighbor knocked, asked if I needed help. I said no thanks, I'm learning to hear myself. She looked confused, then smiled slow. Said my husband left his boots by the door. I still don't let them go. We stood in the hallway, two widows of different kinds. One of a person, one of the noise that made peace with my mind. She brought me a pie, we sat on the stairs, didn't talk for an hour, just breathed the air. Then she pointed at the TV, asked why keep it dead. I said because every time I turn it on, I hear what you said. And the silence isn't empty, it's just rearranged. Every missing sound is a memory that's changed. From a shout to a whisper, from a laugh to a thread. I'm learning to live in the words you never said. The year the TV died, I didn't buy a new one. Some ghosts are kinder than the morning sun. I packed your sweaters into a cardboard box, but left your slippers by the radiator. They mock the cold that you're not here to feel. Grief is a room with a broken wheel. It spins but doesn't move, you just get dizzy. Then one day you stand and you're not busy being sad, you're just being still. And the TV's dead, but the windowsill holds a plant you bought from the grocery store. It's grown 3 leaves since you walked out the door. Yesterday I found your old mixtape cassette. The plastic case had a crack like a landscape. I don't own a player anymore, so I held it to my ear and imagined the hiss, the pop, the years. You labeled it songs for when the power's out. I never understood what that was about. Now I do, the power's been off for months, but the music never left. It just learned to live in the grunts of the fridge, the drip of the sink, the neighbor's cough. The year the TV died, I finally took the tape out and turned it off. No, I kept it. Some things you don't need to hear to know they're still there. The year the TV died, I started reading books, the kind with torn covers and forgiving looks. I read your favorite poem aloud to the wall. Your voice wasn't there, but neither was your brawl. With the remote, with the volume, with the brightness control. Now found a different signal, learning to trust the quiet, the pause, the long empty scene. The year the TV died, I finally came clean. The year the TV died, I didn't die too. I just learned to love what the silence grew. A garden of clicks, of breaths, of feet on the floor, of you not being here, but not being a door that slams every time I try to leave. The TV is dead, I am not naive, but grief taught me this: some things are meant to go dark, so the small lights inside you can finally spark. You left a spare key under a ceramic frog I bought at a garage sale the summer you stopped talking. I found it yesterday when I finally washed the dishes. The frog's eye is chipped, it looks like it's winking or crying, I can't tell anymore. The key was rusted, I didn't try the lock, I just held it in my palm and remembered how you used to say, never lose this, it's the only copy. The spare key under the frog, I threw it in the river last night. Not because I'm angry, because I finally understood that some doors aren't meant to be opened twice. The water was cold, my hand didn't shake. I walked home without looking back. The frog stays on the porch, it's just a frog now. Your friend texted me last week. She said you moved to a city where it never snows. I thought about your winter coat, the red one with the broken zipper. You wore it even in July. I asked you once why. You said, because I like the weight, I get it now. We all carry seasons that don't belong to the calendar. She asked if I still had the frog, I said yes. She said he wants it back. I said he can come get it himself. She didn't reply. The spare key under the frog, I threw it in the river last night. Not because I'm angry, because I finally understood that some doors aren't meant to be opened twice. The water was cold, my hand didn't shake. I walked home without looking back. The frog stays on the porch, it's just a frog now. I used to think forgiveness was a feeling, now I know it's an action. Like throwing a key, like leaving a frog in the rain. You don't wait for your heart to be ready, you just do it, and then the feeling follows or it doesn't. But either way, you've already moved your on. That's the part they leave out of every sad song. Last night I dreamed you were standing at my door. You weren't knocking, you were just looking at the frog in the dream. I opened the window and said, the key is gone. You smiled and said, I know I came to tell you I'm glad. Then you walked into the fog. I woke up with my hand on the doorknob. It was unlocked, it had always been unlocked. I don't need a key anymore, I don't need a frog. I don't need you to apologize or remember my birthday. I just need the river to keep flowing. The spare key under the frog, I threw it in the river last night. Not because I'm angry, 'cause I finally understood that some doors aren't meant to be open twice. The water was cold, my hand didn't shake. I walked home without looking back. The frog stays on the porch, it's just a frog now. Sometimes I sit on the steps and talk to the frog. I tell it about my day, about the new coffee shop, about the plant that finally grew a second leaf. The frog doesn't answer, that's the best part. Silence isn't emptiness, it's just a different language, one I'm finally learning to speak. This morning I scrubbed the porch with a brush and soap. The frog sat on the railing, watching me. A bee landed on its head, I didn't shoo it away. I thought about how long it's been since you last saw this house. 3 years, 4. I stopped counting after I stopped waiting. The mailbox still leans to the left, the gutters still need fixing, but the frog is clean now, so am I. I bought a new plant of fern. It doesn't need keys or hiding places. It just needs water and a little bit of shade. I put it next to the frog, they look good together. So here's to the spare key, here's to the river, here's to the frog that never asked for any of this. You can keep your winter coat, you can keep the snowless city. I'll keep the chipped dye and the unlocked door, and I'll never buy another ceramic animal again. But if I do, I won't hide anything underneath it. I'll just let it sit in the sun, and that will be enough. Spare key, frog river, unlocked door, 4 things I never thought I'd thank you for, but here I am. Thank you, also the fern. Thank the fern for not leaving. Thank the rain for rusting the key, so I had to throw it. Thank the chipped eye for winking at me when I cried. I'm keeping the frog, not because of you, because of me. You moved out on a Tuesday when the power went out. I stood in the dark, didn't scream, didn't shout. You left your key on the hook by the door, the same one you promised you'd lose forever before. I didn't cry that night, I just sat on the stairs, counted the cracks in the ceiling like a rosary of despairs. The porch light I left on, it's still burning today. Not because you're coming back, but because I lost the words to say. That I'm done waiting for headlights that don't turn down the street. The porch light I left on, it's just me admitting defeat. But defeat isn't dying, it's a different kind of brave. I'll keep the light on for myself now, not for the ghost I gave. The neighbor asked me why I don't change the bulb. I said some habits are louder than any insult. She offered to climb the ladder, I said no, it's fine. The flicker is the only thing that still feels like mine. Last week the mailman tripped on the step. I turned off the light for 10 seconds. Then I wept. The porch light I left on, it's still burning today. Not because you're coming back, but because I lost the words to say. That I'm done waiting for headlights that don't turn down the street. The porch light I left on, it's just me admitting defeat. But defeat isn't dying, it's a different kind of brave. I'll keep the light on for myself now, not for the ghost I gave. I painted the front door a color you hated, teal. You said it looked like a bruise, now that's how I feel. Some days blue, some days green, some days not sure. But the light makes it warmer, makes it easier to endure. I planted marigolds in the pots you left empty. They grew crooked, so do I, but steadily. A kid from down the street sells lemonade at my gate. He asked why my light is always on so late. I said, so I can see his face when he pays. We both laughed, but I was lying. The truth is half a craft. The electric bill comes every month like a friend asking, are you still holding out for the end? I pay it without thinking. The cost of a lie is cheaper than the cost of saying goodbye. I tried to unscrew the bulb last autumn. My hand stopped as if the light was a bandage and the wound hadn't dropped its last drop of blood, so I let it glow. A lighthouse for no ship. I'm starting to know that's not pathetic, that's just how we learn to turn off what we loved only after we burn. Yesterday I met someone who asked me my name. I told her without looking for yours in the frame. We talked for an hour about books in the rain. She said your porch light is beautiful, it's a beautiful pain. I didn't correct her because she was right. The light isn't waiting, it's just a different kind of night. The porch light I left on, tonight I might finally reach up and twist it till the dark feels right. Not because I'm over you, over isn't a place, it's a verb that moves slowly like light across a face. So here's to the flicker, the hum, the wasted what, the porch light I left on taught me what I've got. A house that still stands, a lock that still turns, a heart that still burns, not for you, but for the lessons it earns. Porch light, I see you from the street. You're not a beacon anymore, just a quiet heartbeat. I'll turn you off on Sunday, or maybe next year. But tonight you're allowed to stay. Tonight the coast is clear.